a second. Trying to see if y'all can see me. Okay, good, good, good. Went back to what I know. What up, everybody? I'm here to talk about the Kada Scott case. Shout out to Grizzly True Crime, and I also want to go to a local news affiliate that has the information as well. With that being said, let's go to Grizzly True Crime.
In connection to Kada Scott's disappearance, as well as the kidnapping of another woman.
Okay, showing 4 minutes in.
Yeah, I know we're all ironic because he really should never have been let out after that, right? And yeah, the DA's office is feeling the public pressure. So, Kada's cell phone cover, iPad cover, debit card, and glasses were found at an abandoned elementary school. On October 15th, the suspect's vehicle was found. I'll show you some clips of that. And on October 16th, the DA's office admitted that it was a mistake to withdraw King's earlier kidnapping case, drawing criticism or potentially allowing him to remain free and commit further crimes. A chilling video surfaced showing King allegedly peering into a woman's window and prowling in her backyard, linked to a prior incident. This video went viral on TikTok and was connected to the investigation. I'll show you that in a moment. There's already a little screenshot of it. It's really, really scary. And apparently now, there's a third victim who has a protective order against him. It sounds like he really does have a pattern of
This guy is a menace.
and strangulation. The other victim survived. And so it's really scary, that Kada's missing and she has not been seen or heard from. No social media activity since October 4th of 2025. On October 17th, Keon King was ordered held on a $2.5 million bail during a court appearance. Today's date is October 17th, by the way, with Kada's family speaking out and expressing hope for more information. Now, there's a $10,000 reward offered for more information, leading to Kada Scott's location as the search is near 2 weeks. Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner held a press conference. We're going to watch that together. It happened just about an hour ago, to discuss the ongoing search, the arrest, the refiling of prior charges, urging potential victims to come forward anonymously. Public criticism intensified towards the DA's office and the judicial system for failing to prosecute King's prior cases, with calls for accountability and systemic changes to protect victims, which, of course, it's really, really sad to think that
And why was this dude out on the street?
the previous victims barely escaped with their lives, and now he's accused of kidnapping Kada Scott, and they have no idea where she is. Now, these are pictures of him. Thank you to Grizzly Cat for helping me obtain some documents, just the summaries of his charges and things. We'll look at that as well. And then also, his social media profiles. Yeah, he was following Kada Scott. She does have multiple profiles. She's got her Kada Scott one, a fitness one, an art one. And yeah, he was following her main page. So this is him. And this is the 21-year-old that they arrested. And in some of these pictures, he's literally in the car. So it's amazing how the car ended up on Facebook Marketplace, right? Because that's scary actually, that he's driving around with his car the whole time until Kada Scott disappears. Now he's trying to sell the vehicle. I don't know why these chats are not popping up here. Come on.
That's suspicious.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Sorry, I'm trying to put Sarah B. Creative. Thank you for being a member for me for 12 months. This is him as well. So yeah, okay. My goodness, in the vehicle, and it says King on his necklace there. Keon King is his name. So here's a picture of Kada. I would hope you've seen pictures of her. I hope that you are continuing to share the flyers as well. Missing since 10/04/2025. Missing from Philadelphia. Kada Scott, 23 years old, 5'6", 120 pounds, and hair black, medium hair length, brown eye color. Last seen October 4th on that, at a workplace. So this is what we have so far. If you missed part 1, you'll see we went through the whole timeline and everything. So go and check that out, right? Okay. So now I'm going to show you trigger warning, because it is scary. It is a stalker, and it is the guy they arrested. He was stalking another woman, and she posted this on TikTok. I will link her page in the description box below. This is a clip that she shared on TikTok.
Go away, bitch. Don't come over here. Karen, call the cops.
This dude is weird.
Call It's all these kids here. Call the cops, you dumb bitch. You coming around the window. Hold out with camera.
Wait, kids in the house? The fuck wrong with this dude?
Yeah, bitch. Go away. Bye. Go away. Bye. Yup, bye. Bye.
This dude here is a different kind of crazy.
Oh my goodness, can you believe that?
Dude,
it's so
crazy as
scary.
shit.
And the district attorney said that he walked away eventually, but about an hour later, that woman left her house and then he kidnapped her and assaulted her. She managed to get out of the vehicle. Yeah, that's why she's been in prison, right?
Should have been in
Because
jail.
I mean, there's video evidence. I mean, look at that.
Go away, bitch.
How the hell did he even get? Wait a minute. Did he crawl over the fence?
The guy walks.
And
That is so scary.
It's all these kids
this
here.
dude's weird as shit.
Wow.
They coming around the window. Hold out with camera. Yeah, bitch. Go away. Bye. Go away. Bye. Yup. Bye.
What's even trying to look? Wow.
He just walking away. He not even running.
I think YouTube is up to a few things. I see there's been a few issues in the last few days all over the platform. I'm trying to put your stickers on the screen. I can't right now. Southern California.
It's like he don't even give a damn about getting caught.
It's so, yeah, O'Neill said that is absolutely terrifying, right? My goodness. Okay, so think about how brazen that is, because he's stalking a woman, and she didn't know him, at her house, peering in the windows, going around when he can't, like, I don't know, get in there, or he's going around to the other side of the window, or the door, and she's got kids in the house. Wow. So, yeah, some of you saying, hey, that guy's a predator. Scary, right? Okay, so now I want to show you here when they found the vehicle. So let's start there. We're going to look at clips from when they found the vehicle. There's two clips I want to show you, and we're also going to watch the press conference. So let's go like this. Okay.
So the puzzle that is the mystery of missing woman Kada Scott is slowly coming together for Philadelphia police, literally a piece at a time. Now, missing for 11 days now. We've seen searches at an old abandoned middle school earlier this Wednesday, as well as the discovery of a critical piece of evidence. In fact, right now, let's take this live. Let's come back out live. We see Philadelphia police towing the vehicle at the center of this investigation. They found this car here from a tip from members of the public. It was 3 o'clock this afternoon that police responded to this East Falls gated apartment complex. And there is that 1999 Toyota Camry, believed to be used by a man named Keon King. He is the prime suspect in what police describe to be the abduction of Kada Scott.
Okay, her name is Kada, sorry. My apologies if I mispronounced her name. And again, this here is Grizzly True Crime. Please subscribe to her if you wish.
Has been missing since October 4th. It was a week ago today that police turned to the public for help. Scott's parents have been desperate for information about her. Her phone has been dead since she clocked out of work just 20 minutes into her shift on Saturday, October 4th. Police and K-9 units have searched large properties in East Germantown, trying to locate any evidence that uncovers that points to where Kada Scott could be. And now, 4 hours.
I'm just going to pause here. This is the elementary school where they found items of evidence belonging to Kada. I mean, look how there were so many police officers there searching the place, and they actually found her phone cover, iPad cover, glasses, and a debit card, her debit card. Now, Matt said she said his name. We talked about the clip we watched earlier, right? The stalker. She said his name. They had dated. She broke up with him. He stalked her too and kidnapped her. Thank you, Mac. Yeah, okay. I thought she didn't know him, but maybe she did for a bit, right? You said she broke up with him. He stalked her too and kidnapped her. I did hear about he kidnapped her, and she thankfully managed to escape alive. And yeah, he was let out on bail. They're going to explain a lot of that at the press conference. The previous cases, I also have a clip to show you of that, but I just wanted to pause here and quickly show you this school.
After police made a plea to the public, the suspect vehicle, as you just saw live on CBS News Philadelphia, has been located and is off to be searched. Here's Lieutenant Jeremy Walsh with the Philadelphia Police Homicide Unit.
Chronologically, earlier today, we were at 6100 Ard Lake Street, behind the school there. Off the tip, we recovered some items that were of value. 310 today received a radio call that the vehicle that we were looking for is parked in the rear of the apartment complex. What's the condition of the vehicle? The condition of the vehicle is the same that you saw in the pictures. We're waiting for what? Right now, we're just waiting for it. We're going to take MW to some police crimes facility, and then we'll obtain a circumcision warrant. Okay.
Once again, take a look at your screen. This is 23-year-old Kada Scott, missing out for 11 days. Police imploring members of the public, if you have any information, no matter how irrelevant you may believe that to be, they want to hear from you. The number is 215-686-TIPS. Now, more information on Keon King. According to police, he's been down this alleged road of criminal behavior before. It was in January when they charged him in a similar case. This case dealing in January with strangulation and kidnapping. According to members of the district attorney's office, though, the victim in that did not show up to a first hearing. Withdrawn, and King was allowed to go free.
They better not blame the victim, otherwise we're all going to get mad at it, right? Wow, we're going to hold the criminal accountable. Now, let's quickly look at this clip over here, which is called Kada Scott Case, New Details about suspect Keon King. And my goodness, what a jam-packed little video from Fox News. Is 2 minutes and 48 seconds, and I'm like, whoa. When I was here listening to all of this, I'm like, he did what now? From when? Okay, so let's look at this.
29 News has learned that 21-year-old Keon King has an active protection from abuse order against him recently from a third young female in effect until 2027. That's in addition to the multiple kidnapping and related charges he's being held on $2.5 million bail on now.
Why was he not in jail?
And the prior kidnapping case from earlier this year that was dismissed initially by the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. It was refiled this week after King's arrest in the Kada Scott case.
Carrie, call the cops.
Philadelphia police sources tell me this video, posted on social media and shared widely following King's arrest this week, is part of the evidence in the first kidnapping case, dismissed by the DA's office, showing him walk up to the victim's window. Law enforcement sources tell me King was also a suspect in a prior rape case involving yet another woman. Adding more.
Okay, so previously we heard about one other woman, another victim.
Yeah, this guy's a menace to society.
Strangled and survived. Now we're hearing
Menace
about another
to
woman.
society.
Another woman. Oh my goodness.
To their belief that King has a pattern of very bad behavior with women. Sources tell me investigators found Kada's glasses, her iPad case, and her cell phone case, along with her bank card, in the search of this no longer used Philadelphia public school building yesterday. That's 2.5 miles, mostly down Stanton Avenue, from where she worked and was last seen. While King hasn't been as cooperative as detectives would like, sources tell me the young man that she was on a date with the night she was last seen did cooperate. She went on a date here to Top Golf Saturday night, arriving home at 9:45 p.m.
That's new information. We didn't know that before, but the police apparently spoke to that guy, right, as they say. She went on a date that night, October 4th, getting home around 9:45 and then going to work because she left home around 9:45 to get to work to start a shift at 10 p.m. but disappeared shortly after arriving. So this is just part of the timeline, although it doesn't really, how to know where Kada is. But anyway, sharing that.
Just 5 minutes before her mother saw her leave for work. That young man told police how easily approachable Kada is, based on how he met her by just rolling down his car window and was able to easily strike up a conversation with her.
This is day 12 of Kada not being with us. And as you know, each day, desperation rules.
Kada's father on Good Day Philadelphia for the second straight morning, hoping to keep the public on alert for her, brought his two brothers with him, hoping to reach the person who may know King and may know what happened after police say she got into King's car.
There's one person out there that is a good friend of his that, has a heart, and, understands the severity of this and speaks up.
That Kevin Scott wearing his daughter's name on his hooded sweatshirt over his heart, hoping someone watching with a good heart will hear him.
Let my daughter go. Bring my daughter back home. She has loved ones, family, friends that all care about her. She has a great future. People make mistakes. If she's alive and breathing, just get her back home, on her own.
At the criminal...
My goodness. 23 years old, Kada Scott. Okay, so now I want to show you, before we watch the press conference, because then we're just going to watch that together, I just quickly want to show you the documents that Grizzly Cat has sent me. Hold on one second. This would be his rap sheet. Look at everything he's charged with. Next going to be in court. We'll go over this again now. It says hearing 11/03/2025, so the 3rd of November. Same day that the Jake Horror guy is going to be sentenced. Anyway, a different case. It's the Emmanuel Horror case. This one, 11/03/2025, 9 a.m. Kidnapping for ransom is the lead offense. So let's look at this one. It's not highlighted. It says status description. So you can see bail action set. It's got $2.5 million bail. Kidnapping for ransom, false imprisonment, criminal use of communication facility, recklessly endangering another person, tamper with or fabricate. So those are the charges that he faces based on Kada Scott's case and the previous court case as well. So they said they've refiled that. They have to also do that now to make sure that he can't get out now, because he's gotten out before based on the bail being set quite low, which again they're going to explain at the press conference as best they can. But my goodness, so here's a preliminary arraignment was 10/16/2025. Preliminary hearing 11/03/2025. And by the sounds of it, he's not talking, he's not like giving up information, right? Okay, so we have that, and then I think this is from his previous charges: DUI, controlled substance, impaired ability, MJ, small amount, use or possession of drug paraphernalia, careless driving, speeding, following too closely, evading arrest or detention on foot as well. You can see all the dates on here. You can pause to read if you want to. I just wanted to show you a summary, right? My goodness. So, let me quickly see. Jay Friedman says, retired lawyer here. I finally caught a live stream. I'm usually bringing up the replay crew. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the live stream. It's always great to have you guys with me. I know we're going live a little bit later than usual today. Maybe that's why. Thank you for being here. Okay, so these charges are scary, and potentially going to face a lot more charges depending on how the investigation goes. Okay, now we're going to watch the press conference, which is this one that was streamed about 2 hours ago now. Here we go. We're ready. Okay, let me just make sure the sound is good. Sound good?
Just a press conference.
Avocado says, remember, we're not seeing his juvenile record. If it wasn't concealed, I'm sure this behavior would appear there as well. Can you imagine? He's only 21 years old. You should have highlighted that. Telling you, he's 21 years old and look at that rap sheet. Can you imagine? Now, I'll say it one more time here. YouTube's having a little bit of an issue where I can't put your comments on the screen, and I really want to, but I'm reading all of them. Okay, so don't be offended if I can't put your sticker on the screen or anything. I would love to. YouTube's being naughty.
Is everybody ready? Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. We have called this press availability in order to address any questions the media may have or anything else that we can do to support the ongoing investigation of the kidnapping of Kada Scott, the efforts to safely locate her, the efforts to further this investigation in this particular case. I just want to start by saying October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Our prosecutors, victim advocates, and law enforcement staff are deeply concerned about every victim and survivor of crime, and those who are victims of domestic violence are extremely important to us. We will be giving a few more details about the investigation and prosecution of defendant Keon King. Most of the details of the case you already know. You're aware of them. But I want to make sure that we are keeping the public updated, and I want to make sure that people understand that the FBI, the Philadelphia Police Department, the DA's office, other law enforcement partners are working 24/7 on this case by doing everything we can with the remarkable, unusual, extraordinary support and help coming from the public to address the situation we all face. I think part of what is really, perhaps what has animated so much community help, such an unprecedented effort that we are seeing by the community to get us information, to get the police information, anonymous tips, tips about cars, tips about evidence locations, things of that sort. We even have some information that additional victims of this defendant from incidents that never resulted in an arrest are starting to come forward. I think part of what is happening here, and it's good news, is that young people are seeing themselves in Kada. Older people see their kids, and they would like to know that everyone is doing everything they can, no matter how perfectly or imperfectly, but they're doing everything they can to try to deal with this horrific situation. I am here to say to the public that I am fully committed to there being justice in this case, to every single thing that can be done, for Kada being done now. I'm not alone in that. I can tell you that the mayor has gone to somewhat extraordinary and very impressive lengths to try to address the needs of this family, to make sure that this investigation goes as smoothly as possible. The police commissioner, I know, feels the same way. He and I have been on the phone a couple times speaking directly about certain aspects of this case over the past several days. I can't tell you exactly what that was about because, as I said, the investigation is ongoing. It was about stuff that was important. And we were very much of the same mind about how to address that issue. If there's anything that I hope to gain by this press conference, it is frankly part of what was gained by the last one, the one that was done by PPD, middle of last week. And that is to get more help. It is to have more people come forward. It is to get more information. We have reason to believe that will happen because it's already happened. We have reason to believe that will happen because of the deep interest people have in Kada Scott and the deep interest they have in her safety and getting justice for what has occurred here.
K18.
So that is good to hear that they are acknowledging all the public tips that are helping, that they need the public's help. So
K18.
please, if you did see something, right? If you saw something, please say something. If you heard anything, whatever it is, if you haven't yet called in that tip, please do call it in because it is helping. They keep saying the public help.
Okay, when was that? 1419. Okay. My bad, 18. I had answered a text message. Uh, is this okay? I make
They keep saying the public.
this young lady is 23 years old, 18. Unfortunately, um, they believe that this woman. We know the woman that's missing. Unfortunately, they haven't found her yet. However, the guy who's accused of taking this young lady already had prior convictions for kidnapping and rape and domestic violence. And this guy is only 21 years old in a menace to society. So, with that being said, I'm gonna let this play.
Helped to find the vehicle, to
I'll be
find
right back in
items.
second
People were
18.
calling in lots of tips, right? So I
Why
hope that they
can't
will
I cam
continue to do
down?
so, especially if they
It's weird.
in some way.
YouTube's not letting me
If,
cam down.
if they find
Oh
more
well.
items that they think could be of
Oh
interest,
well.
don't pick them up. Take a picture of them, but call the police. If you find something that you think, oh, this sounds like, oh, this looks like something that could have belonged to her, whatever it is, that's what they're asking for, the public's help. Now, because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I will share the DV distress signal. It helps to not only
Be
know
back in a
it,
second,
but
y'all.
as if anything ever happened to you or loved one, for them to know it, that you can use this distress signal, which is a DV distress signal, but also a general distress signal now used, for example, in abductions. So, for example, if Kada Scott was abducted from her workplace and she had done this out of the window of the vehicle, Keon King's vehicle, which they believe she was in, hopefully, if she did that, people who saw that would know what that even means. That's why I like to share it, because the public needs to be aware of what that is, so that they're not just like, oh, what is that, you know? It's a DV distress signal, also a general distress signal, which means please call the police. It means the person needs help, right? Okay, so let's continue to listen to the press conference.
Anyone who has additional information, please reach out to the Philadelphia Police Department at 215-686-TIPS, 215-686-TIPS, or please contact us at the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, 215-686-8000. I'd like to acknowledge now some of the good people who are here. We have with us State Representative Andre Carroll of the 201st Legislative District. Representative Carroll has been deeply interested in criminal justice, including criminal justice for young people, for many years. Has worked closely with our office at times, and as it happens, knew Kada Scott in ways that he can certainly explain. Representative Carroll will be speaking. We have first ADA Lewis will be here. We have ADA Ashley Kozlowski, who is in the DAO's homicide non-fatal shooting unit, and is taking the lead on a lot of the efforts right now with the assistance of others in this office. ADA Bob Wainwright, who is the chief of the DAO's homicide non-fatal shooting unit. To thank Ashley for her deep dive into this case. This is not something she had early on. This is something
YouTube been acting weird lately. YouTube been acting weird lately. Why can't I cam back up? Really? It's not letting me cam back up for nothing. Oh well. Oh well, we'll just do it like this here then.
More recently. But I can tell you, she ain't sleeping. She's on the phone with me all the time, at every hour, as she should be, because there's not an hour that should pass without additional effort on this case. She has consistently shown her professionalism, her integrity in dealing with this case, and I am delighted that she will be taking point on this with a whole team from this office. All right. I do want to talk about a couple things that I don't think have been heavily covered or considered about this case yet. Or if they haven't, maybe they haven't been fully reported. But I want to share this with you because it may be of help to you in the media. First of all, I want you to understand that when this case began, it was I'm sorry. When this case began, well, let me rephrase that. There's been some discussion about a prior case involving defendant Keon King, involving a different victim, a case that ended at the preliminary hearing. And there has been discussion about some of the events that occurred there. There is no doubt that there's a list of people in this office, outside of this office, and no, it doesn't matter who they are, but there's a list of people who've made a lot of good decisions and a couple decisions that could have been made better. They could have been better, right? There's certainly that has been discussed. But we also can't skip.
You don't say. Right? Okay.
Over some of the systemic issues here that are not small. This is a case in which, in the prior matter, we requested $1 million bail. $1 million minus $1 bail. And we did not get it. We don't set bail, judges do. The bail was set at $200,000. Why? Well, probably because the commissioner who set the bail probably imagined that was enough to hold Keon King in custody. It wasn't. Keon King had access to a lot of money. And so he paid $20,000 bail almost immediately and was out of custody as a consequence of that, right? This is the problem with cash bail. This is what we've been talking about for a long time. It's not...
Okay, put the judge on the stand then. Let the judge speak then. Why did you give such a low bail, sir?
Yeah,
Someone needs to be
why?
held accountable. This guy should have
He
absolutely
should never
been
got
held.
bail.
That was scary.
I
And he
don't
kidnapped,
get why this guy got
woman,
bail.
strangled her, and then he
This guy
stayed
should have
with
never
another
got
woman,
bail.
and then he's got this wrong rap sheet, and he's only 21 years old? Yeah. Okay. Riri004, happy 1 year anniversary. Thank you so much for your support.
just whether or not he's in custody immediately. It's also, what is the situation of a victim who has to go to court, a victim of domestic violence who has to go to court, knowing that the defendant will walk out the same door she came in? What is the situation? How likely is that victim to come to court if that victim knows that that victim is dealing with a profoundly dangerous, profoundly violent person? And we all know the answer. That victim is more likely to walk in the door of the courthouse and testify if that victim knows that the defendant can't walk out right behind him.
Yep.
If he's locked up. Well, he wasn't locked
Yep.
up. And so, sadly, what happened was there were two court dates, at the first of which the judge announced that it must be tried next time. And the victim did not arrive on both of those occasions. An eyewitness did not arrive on both of those occasions. I don't say that to say that's the whole story, but it's not. But it is part of the story. And it is a part of the story that would be remedied if we got away from this, frankly, nutty notion that bail is a good way to deal with these situations. Someone profoundly dangerous should be held. I don't care if they've got a lot of money. Someone who's not dangerous at all shouldn't be held. I don't care if they're poor. That should have nothing to do with this. Money should be divorced from determining who stays in custody, as has been done in the District of Columbia and many other states. It is a successful system. Now, without pointing a finger at any individual, I am pointing a finger at the cash bail system, because its role in this is, frankly...
Why are you making this political? Yes,
I also
cash
want you to
bail is a
know that there has
problem,
been,
but so is
there
his
continues to
record.
be, extensive victim support and outreach to the victim in the first case. That's just a fact. And we will continue to do that. Some of it I cannot even speak about because it would be inappropriate for me to talk about some of the measures that this office has engaged in for her protection. And not yesterday, a long time ago, okay? I don't want anyone to believe or to think that our victim services people and others who do specialized work in that field don't care, because they care deeply. They've done a lot. They've done things that just like the investigation would be proper for me to talk about. But perhaps we can talk about it when this case is concluded at a later time. We can't necessarily do that. Finally, I just want to say this before we hear from Representative Carroll and then move to Q&A. We are encouraging, we are asking other victims of this defendant, Keon King, the gentleman to your left, my right, we are encouraging you to come forward. We have information to indicate that there may have been other victims. We are asking you to come forward, contact our office, contact the Philadelphia Police Department. Some portion of this has already happened after the last press conference. We are asking you to protect others by coming forward, and we are telling you that all the resources of this city will be at your disposal to make sure that you are safe in this situation. Keon King is in jail now. He's in jail on, what is it, $2.5 million bail? A sum of money he's not able to come up with, despite the fact that he has access to money. You do not have to worry about his coming out of the courthouse door right behind you, because he's not coming out of that courthouse door right behind you. And if I have my way, he's not going to be coming out of a prison door either. That's how serious this gets. So I'm asking you, please come.
Sir, this better not be empty promises now. But yes, if there are any other victims of Keon King out there, I do hope that they'll feel encouraged. In the
Exactly.
description box of this video it's all the tip lines you can call, including anonymous ones where you can text, where you can call. That could be a way as well, if one is afraid. But if you have encountered this guy, if you've been stalked by him, I mean, his pattern shows stalking, kidnapping, strangulation, and sexual assault. That's a lot. But who knows what else he's been up to. So it would help with the state case if they had more victims coming forward as well. And of course, simultaneously, they are still searching for Kada Scott. I really hope that they find her soon. You know, it's really scary to think that they found her phone cover, iPad cover, glasses, and debit card. No sign of her. They found his vehicle. Now I'm thinking that that could hold some forensic evidence or something, so they're busy working on that. But they need to find Kada Scott. Okay, so let me just go back a second here so you're not to cut off mid-sentence.
Right behind you, because he's not coming out of that courthouse door right behind you. And if I have my way, he's not going to be coming out of a prison door either. That's how serious this gets. So I'm asking you, please come forward. All Philadelphians, please come forward. Let us know any information you have, whether it's information about a car, whether it's information about a phone, whether it's information about a piece of evidence, information about another victim, something that you saw in social media. Even if you don't know that it's accurate or true, but you know you heard it or saw it, we're asking you to come forward. It is my pleasure at this time, before we get to question and answer format, it's my pleasure to call Representative Andre Carroll, who I know has some interesting and important remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. First and foremost, I want to thank the DA's office. I want to thank the FBI, thank the homicide detectives who's assisted with this case so far. I also want to censor my remarks and concerns, thoughts, and prayers for the family. I recognize that we're talking about a 23-year-old young black woman. I've had opportunity as a criminal justice advocate prior to being elected to State House to work with young folks who have been tried in the city, and I've had opportunity also to get to meet the victims' families and walk in the courtrooms. There's a divide of both. But what I recognize is that, I have an opportunity to build relationships across this aisle, and I recognize in this moment that there is a family right now that is praying for the safe return of this young lady. I work with colleagues in the House, in particular Gina Curry, who introduced legislation around the Ebony Alert. Far too often in this country, when it comes to young black girls and women, we do not see this kind of outpour. In this case right now, we recognize that everyone in this city, from the community to law enforcement to elected officials, are committed to the return of Kada Scott. I want to thank you, Philadelphia, for everything that you've done so far at this point on behalf of the family, but I also want to continue to encourage you guys, if you see something, if you know something, say something. The DA's office, our judicial system, the criminal justice system, they can only do what they have access to as far as information. Hope cannot be relinquished yet. We can get Kata home. I have had the opportunity to meet Kata over the summer when Kata was running for Miss Philadelphia. Very timid, beautiful young lady. I am lost for words as to how do we get to this point. It's not too late, guys. This family I've had the opportunity to talk to, they want their daughter, their sister, their cousin, their neighbor home. I'll close with this. Miss Kada Scott ran to be Miss Philadelphia. We're counting on Philadelphia in this moment right now to help return back home to our family. Thank you, guys.
One final comment before we go to Q&A. The sad truth is that the story of Kada is not just about Kada. It's about a lot of other women. It's about a lot of other women who don't report what has happened to them out of fear or because of the unique dynamics of domestic violence or for some other reason. It's about a lot of other women who do report, and then for a wide variety of reasons, including fear, but not just fear, don't go to court. Please report. Please come to court. Please let us try to do our very best with your case to protect you. Please. You are not just protecting yourself from things that can get a whole lot worse than you imagine, but you are protecting every other woman in Philadelphia. And you're doing it at a time when, sadly, the national climate is not fair to women. So I am saying to every woman out there, every girl out there, every other person who may have been a victim of domestic violence of any sort, please let the Philadelphia Police Department, the FBI, the Philadelphia DA's office, please let all of us, and the mayor, please let all of us support you by coming forward. We will do justice. We will make sure that the accountability fits the act, and we will make sure, as best we possibly can, that there is the right outcome. All right. With that, we will move to Q&A. Channel 3 CBS, Joe Holden.
Thanks. So if bail in February, January incident that came before the courts in April was not sufficient, your office could have for bail modification, correct?
You have the option of trying to do what is often a midnight or 3 o'clock in the morning telephonic appeal to a municipal court judge. The unfortunate reality of this is that some, but not all of these judges don't want you calling them in the middle of the night. And if you do, they lower the bail. They don't raise it. They don't leave it. They lower it. So it is always a complex strategic decision.
YouTube is being so naughty, like you can't even move this around nicely.
Okay, this person
Because they don't
got problems with YouTube too.
Because they don't want appeals. Now, there are a lot of great MC judges, a lot of great CP judges as well. These appeals go to municipal court judges. So I don't want you to think in any way I'm saying that's what all of them do. But we know that it's done. And we know that it's done way too often. And therefore, you have to make strategic decisions about who that judge is, what hour of the day it is, whether there's any realistic possibility of increasing the bail. And we are still locked into a cash bail system, in which some things that were done in 1978 seem to make sense to some of those judges now. So it's always a delicate balance, because the last thing you want, who knows exactly how much money Keon King has when he first gets arrested. The last thing you want to do is to appeal it and then drive the bail number down so he's able to get out when you were asking for 5 times what it ultimately turned out to be. That is an aspect of this investigation that I cannot really get into right now, but I can tell you there is reason to think that he had access to cash. I'm going to go.
You think? Should we show that? There you go. There's some clue that he had access to cash
Yeah,
on his own public profile on Instagram.
Yeah, he showed that he can get money. Now, is it legal?
Posted his Instagram
Probably
posts,
not.
and this is one of them with I think 5 pictures or so. So yeah, there was a hint. So not set the bail too low. This guy's got cash and maybe contacts with lots of cash, right? Okay.
In order, and if I miss you, please remind me, okay? All right, let me see. Becca Hendrickson, 6 ABC.
What does bail have to do with the officer's decision to not prosecute anyway than other states?
So the actual history of this case, as I understand it, and, please understand, we've been trying to dig into this to make sure we are accurate. If anything I say turns out to be inaccurate, we're going to correct it, okay? But my understanding of what happened with this case is that it involved an eyewitness, it involved a complainant, there was some other video evidence that was available, and at the first listing, eyewitness was subpoenaed, the complainant was subpoenaed. At the second listing, once again, there were subpoenas. We believe that at least 3 of those 4 subpoenas, all of which went to the addresses that were identified, we believe at least 3 of those 4 got to their destination. There were multiple phone calls that were made, phone calls to the victim in those earlier cases, and they were not just made by one person. It was made not only by the prosecutors handling the case on both dates, but also made by people in victim services. Those calls resulted in voicemails being left that were detailed.
Do not blame the victims. Okay.
They were not returned at that time. The eyewitness did return a phone call. The eyewitness expressed that she was reluctant to come to court. I think that's a fair statement. Efforts were made to get the eyewitness to encourage the complainant to come to court. And ultimately, what occurred is the eyewitness did not show up for the first listing, neither did the complainant. The eyewitness did not show up for the second listing after a judge had marked it must be tried, neither did the complainant. We could have done better in that a really sophisticated approach to the case would have been to try to put it all on with video evidence. That is not usually an easy thing to do. I would say with 20/20 hindsight, it's something that could have been done. And I own that. I mean, ultimately the buck stops here. It's not my job to throw other people under the bus. If there's a decision that is poor, and I believe that that was an incorrect decision, then we have to own it, and we have to try to do better moving forward in order.
See, I never actually want to snark at the DAs or the police or anything, but sometimes, it's just, maybe my face is already saying it, just, it's not my job to throw people under the bus, but here I am, I'm just going to throw all the judges and the victims under the bus. Okay, we did our part, we made some phone calls, and that's it. Bail wasn't high enough, and, okay, there was some problems, but this is like, it's a little awkward, isn't it? I think they know they messed up, right? Okay. So, yeah, the best would be to focus on the investigation. Where's Kada? What's being done now? The question probably should...
are y'all looking for?
Would be also, why was he not locked up? Why did he have bail? Why was he let out? Why were these other...
And why was bail so damn
low?
low?
There is a pattern, an escalating pattern. Clearly, kidnapping, sexual assault, kidnapping, strangulation, all of that. So, yeah, having him out on the street the whole time has resulted in Kada Scott going missing. And she's still missing at this time. So that should be the focus, right? So just let us as a community make sure we continue to share her flyers, her pictures, all of that. Because people need to keep a lookout for her. She was last seen wearing her scrubs from work. They were described as black scrubs that she wore as she was working at the assisted living facility. So far, they found her glasses, her iPhone cover, iPad cover, and debit card at that abandoned elementary school, which is very scary to think about. But that means they didn't find her phone or her iPad. So another thing to consider is if you see on Facebook marketplaces or other marketplaces, iPhones and iPads being sold, I don't know, it could be that there's many of them. There's so many of them. I'm just saying, maybe the guy was trying to sell them, maybe he gave it to family, who knows where the phone, where's her phone, where's her iPad, where's her watch, her Apple Watch. A lot of things, items missing, and Kada's missing. So, we need to keep sharing her case until she's found.
Change that. But what I'm saying about the bail is that it could have made all the difference in the world at the first listing for that eyewitness. If this man was locked up, she might have showed. It could have made all the difference in the world at the first listing if this man was locked up. The complainant might have showed. And the same is true, both of them at the second listing. Think about it. This is obviously someone who at this point we understand. But the eyewitness and the defendant knew him, okay? We know what he's capable of now. They knew at some level what he was capable of then. And the reason they had to worry that he was going to come out of the same door they went in the courthouse right after they testified against him is because he was on bail. So there is a direct link between the effect of bail and the appearance of witnesses. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So what actually happened in this case, and I appreciate you trying to understand, so if I can be of help, that's what I want to do. What actually happened is a judge of the municipal court at the first listing marked it must be tried, okay? That is an order, and it's an order that applies to the next judge that says you must try this case on this date. If you're not ready, if you don't put it up, it gets thrown out. That's what that order means. Under Pennsylvania law, if a judge at the same level, and it was a municipal court judge at the first listing, it was a municipal court judge at the second listing, if a judge at the same level makes that decision, under the law, it's not even supposed to be up to the second judge, unless there's some big change of situation. This judge is supposed to follow that judge. So from the moment that the first judge said this must be tried next time, for whatever reason, and I'm not going to speculate, I don't know why the judge said that, that was essentially a predetermined outcome if the case was not put up. The process of dismissal, withdrawal, whatever, is effectively the same thing. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to revive the case later if you drop the case rather than have the judge dismiss it, just for procedural reasons. But that's essentially how that works. All right, let me see. Is it Shaira Arias? Shaira, my apologies.
Thank you for having me, Casa. Two questions. And this is related to Kada Scott's investigation. And this is because a lot of people have been asking. The charges have been filed for kidnapping. What new details could you give us about what exactly happened on October 4th, besides the fact that they were possibly last seen together, that folks could maybe get a hint, an idea of what exactly happened on October 4th, that you could be able to move forward with those charges of what happened next?
All right, if you'll just allow me 1 second to speak with Ashley.
So, in terms of the investigation itself, unfortunately, we don't have any new information since the last time I spoke with you all. At this point, it is still very much an active investigation. So my answer is going to be similar to what I've already said, which is the information that we know is that he was the last person with her. He was traveling with her when her phone goes offline. We have every reason to believe at this point she did not go willingly. She was about 20 or 30 minutes into her shift. From all of the witnesses, her family that we've spoken to, this is unusual behavior for her. And as we now know, several of her items have now been found in locations that don't make much sense. So at this point, we have every reason to believe she did not go willingly. And at this point, we're 2 weeks later, and we still
this
don't
guy, I don't believe
have
she
her.
went willingly either.
I think we have more than enough at this level to charge him with the charges that he's been charged with, which is kidnapping, criminal use of a communication facility, recklessly endangering her, and all the charges that we approved.
Right.
My last question was, how many victims have come forward?
So at this point, that's still very much in flux. I know the police department, I know our victim witness team are all fielding those calls, and so I'm sure at some point we'll have more information on that, but at this point, I wouldn't want to speculate in terms of how many there are, but there are people coming forward. I wish we could know if he was the guy that was harassing her, because she received harassing calls in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, right? We don't know that yet. They haven't said that. But it could be, especially because he had called other victims. And he was following Kada Scott on social media. Now, I don't know if he had been direct messaging her, or if he was doing that, how he got her number or anything. I don't know. But, yeah, I wish we had a few more answers. I know they've got to protect the investigation. Sure, but it's so scary that it's been 2 weeks and they have not found Kada Scott yet. I really hope that they do.
Yeah, let's hope
Thank
they
you.
do
Let me
too.
also just supplement that without getting more detailed than I should. Supplement that by saying sometimes when we get information or the police get information, it's coming about, let's just say, a car, right? Information about a car. Well, the significance of that information may be a lot more than what even the person providing it believes. If you get information about a car, if that takes you to a car, if that allows you to do DNA on that car, if that allows you to do geolocation on a navigation system in that car, if that allows you to look for other things, that may branch off in multiple directions and provide layers and layers and layers of important information. And as you all know, we are, and by we, I mean the Philadelphia Police Department, the FBI, other law enforcement partners are actively searching for her now. Okay? So any tip, any information that's coming in, even if it's about a prior incident in which Keon King was involved, even if it's just about how he always does the same stuff, that may fill a gap in this investigation. That's absolutely crucial to every effort to bring her home safely and to get the family justice.
Sorry to nitpick,
Mhm.
but the same stuff. No, let's not minimize the words now. The same
Don't
crimes,
minimize it.
the same offenses against women, clearly. Kidnapping, strangulation, sexual assault, that. I wouldn't call that stuff. I'm standing up for the victims. I'm not just trying to snark out of nowhere. I care about the victims, okay? Imagine them hearing that he does the same stuff. I know what they mean, patterns. Just felt a little tongue there for a second there.
I cannot comment on that at this time. Jennifer Lee, Channel 29 Fox. What I can tell you is that there has been significant contact with her, including meeting in person with members of the DA's office, significant contact with her family. I'm sure you can understand there are reasons why it would be inappropriate for me to say exactly where or exactly when. But yes, there has been significant contact with her. There have been discussions with her and her family. We have worked in the past and even now to make sure that she is in the safest position possible, that her needs are met in terms of what it means to bring a case like the one that she brought. I'm not going to comment on that at this time. First of all, because I don't want to speak for her. I don't think that's fair to her. But also because I'm giving you the best information that I have. I certainly can't speak for the mental state of another person. And we are also making every effort to check our facts and make sure that our facts are strictly correct. So I'm going to respectfully decline to speak for her on that point. Well, let me just say this. I'm not sure exactly which video you're talking about. I'm aware of what you might be talking about, but there's a little more social media out there, perhaps.
Should we bring up the video? Do they need to know which video is being referred to?
Go away, bitch. Don't come over here. You need Karen, call the cops.
Dude, crazy.
Then some people may realize, so I don't want to speak on that point. All right, let me see. Ellie Rushing, Philadelphia Inquirer.
Can you give a little bit of clarity on when the warrant position for the arrest in the January incident? Because, so if the first case was dismissed in February, then she would have just been kidnapped and reported that a month earlier, right? Why not maybe go to the other and say, we just had another incident, this is evolving, we're still trying.
All right, first of all, I just want to make sure I understand the question. If you'll just allow me a moment.
So if I'm understanding it correctly, it's that these kind of two cases were intertwined with each other, yes?
And they were happening.
They were happening simultaneously. I mean, I think the answers we gave are kind of the answers that we're going to continue to give, which is just because one case happens doesn't change kind of, again, I don't want to speak for her mental state, but this is a situation where he was on bail for everything. And obviously, I think that kind of answers a question in and of itself, which is he had an active case going on with her when the second case happened. I think that kind of answers it in and of itself, which is that he was out on bail on that first case and still committed this next one. I think that kind of answers it, right, in terms of what perhaps her mental state could be, or perhaps what anyone's mental state could be, where he has an open case and that's not even stopping him. And the allegations in that second case and in the first involve threats to her life. It's not just strangulation, it's not just kidnapping, it is legitimate threats to her life. And if he's doing this while on bail for one case,
This
what is he
dude
gonna
is
do
a
when he's
menace
on
to
bail for a second?
society.
I think what I was trying to distinguish is he's not arrested for the kidnapping case until April.
Right.
And so when the charges in the first case were withdrawn in February, was there an actual warrant for the arrest?
I don't have the exact date the second warrant was issued. I'm sure we can get that, but I don't have it on me.
All right, sure.
Sorry, I'm just gonna pause quickly. Firefly said, sadly, after the other victim got away, he wasn't risking that again. Prayers they find her soon. Yeah, it seems like, I mean, he was willing to sell his car. He sold it to someone because it was apparently somebody else selling his car on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, it seems like a huge escalation in his behavior, and the behavior was already really bad.
Yeah.
Terrible crimes against multiple women. So it is really scary.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Stone, Philadelphia Tribune.
I'm wondering if the Coles car that was found was belonged to the auntie. And like, if you're allowed to give details like what happened, as well as sort of like if you find it.
So obviously, when we did the initial press conference at the police headquarters, we had put that car out as a car of interest. Obviously, at that time, we indicated we believed he had been operating that vehicle. Perhaps she had been in it throughout that evening. We recovered that car. That car is still being investigated. I mean, obviously, at this point, we haven't released anything in terms of that search, but it is being searched pursuant to a search warrant. But we do have significant evidence tying him to that car. We did before, and then we did upon recovery of that car. In terms of where it was, video evidence surrounding it, we can connect him to that car again.
Dan Horan, Philly FPV.
Thank you. Just want to ask you about victim services unit. It seems like there's a lot of incidents where these prolonged people are afraid to show up to court. Is there any part of your team that meets with these victims or speaks to them before the court case to get them out of the court to move them through the process and then out afterwards to make sure that the bar it goes smooth?
So I can give you the short answer, but I think it makes more sense to let Mariel Dela Cruz, who is the chief of our Victim Witness Services unit, give you the longer, more detailed answer.
Good afternoon, everyone. So there are several things that happen when it comes to getting victims and survivors to court safely. So in some instances, we do have assigned detectives who are working in our office. So DAD, so detectives that are belonging to the district attorney's office, do a transport to and from court. But additionally, we also have our van services. So we do have a van that operates and picks up victims and survivors and also drops them off. Our protocol is that victims are ushered to our victim services waiting room, which I'm not going to give the location of that waiting room, in both the family courthouse and the criminal justice center as well. So we do have protocols in place to make sure that victims are, one, safe in the courthouse, and also safe traveling to and from the courthouse from their homes.
If this was an option given to her and she didn't take it, when it was.
This is usually a protocol option for all of our victims and witnesses that are assigned to our unit. So after a case is assigned, depending on the unit that's assigned to, our victim witness coordinators go through that protocol with every single victim and every single survivor. And this is an option that is presented to them during our call, but also during our correspondence letters and things that we send to our survivors and victims as well.
Philadelphia Philadelphia neighborhoods. That would be Lauren Morris, Colt Gunn, and Kevin Gruen. Why? Hasn't? Okay. Very good. Now, I know that some of you came with questions on other matters. I don't want to interfere with this press conference by inviting those questions now, but what we'll do is shut it down here. And for those of you who have individual questions about other cases or other issues, please approach us. We'll remain here, and we will speak to you individually about that. One more on this? Yes.
If Mr. King has very sensitive information about the whereabouts of Ms. Scott, has rights, does your office leverage anything trying to get that information from him?
What I can tell you is that every single effort that can be made to help Kada and her family.
No plea deals.
Is being made. Thank you.
Okay, so that was the press conference from today.
That was it.
Not a lot of information we could learn about Kada Scott, but nevertheless, I'm always grateful when they do press conferences. They keep the public informed.
Right.
They keep asking the public for help as well, because the tips are helping them. It helped them find the vehicle, the items of evidence that they found at that elementary school. So I really hope that Philadelphians will continue to keep their eyes peeled and calling tips. And if you
Well,
saw
they
something,
need to
heard something, maybe you got
keep your
dash cam
eyes
footage,
peeled,
webcam
keep your
footage,
eyes open.
maybe there's, I don't know, maybe you were a victim of his in the past, whatever it is. I hope that, you'll be encouraged to call it in. The tip lines are available all over social media, on the flyers for Kada Scott, in the description box of this video as well. So at least now he's being held on a $2.5 million bond. But, one would think that at this point, he should be held on no bond. Just give him the pattern alone. Who knows how much money he has access to, or people that he knows. Right? What if he can pay the 10% or whatever it is, if that's how it works in the state? I'm not sure, I'm just assuming, because sometimes it's first, they pay the 10% and off they go. Hope that doesn't happen. He can't be let out. The DA said he doesn't want him to be let out at all. He's staying behind bars. But that's no guarantee. If there is a bail, $2.5 million bail, let's just quickly look at the documents again. Hold on one second. It was a cash bail, huh? So you'll read the 2.5 million. Is that so? Let's quickly look at this. Here we go. These are the documents that we
He needs 250.
Just recapping his
It was
charges.
2.5. He needs 250 to get out on
It's
bail.
actually great that they have been able to charge him with this already and keep him behind bars. So we've got to give some credit, of course. But man, how scary. Okay, so let's just look here. Case information. We've got a hearing that he's got on November 3rd, of course. And here it says kidnapping for ransom. Interesting. They didn't really explain that more. They just said kidnapping, false imprisonment, criminal use of communication facility, stalking, repeatedly commit acts to cause fear, recklessly endangering another person, tamper with or fabricate physical evidence. So that's what we have there. And I'm trying to look at that. Where's the bail? How much does he have? Is it a cash bail? Let's see what you guys say. Scrappy said product takes up a lot less volume than cash. It can be leveraged. $250K to get out of jail is not that much. I think I read somewhere that it is a cash bail, right? So we go here as well. And this one. And I mean, he will face more charges depending on what the outcome of this case is. This is his previous rap sheet. Let's quickly look. There's a $10,000 reward now as well, offered as for information leading to finding Kada Scott. So remember that too. Let's just go here on King bail. $2.5 million bail. Yeah. Hopefully he just stays behind bars. Okay. Yeah, they're just saying being held on a $2.5 million bail. Okay. So I will keep you posted. I am following this case. If there's just small updates, I do make YouTube shorts for you, or I post on my community tab. I know some people struggle to find the community tab, but it's on my channel. It's home, videos, shorts, live streamed posts. It's the one called posts, right? So if you go there, you'll find updates there, and of course, YouTube shorts would be a way. If there's just something, like let's say they find one other item today, then I'll make a YouTube short for you to tell you that, right? Instead of going live every time for a minute at a time. At least there I can update you with small things. Lisbeth said, yeah, $10,000 reward for info, so that is new as well today. If you missed the beginning of the live stream, I hope you'll check it out because we went over all the updates in the last few days since our last live stream. If you missed part 1 and part 2, it's linked in the description box for you. Go check those videos out as well if you want some of the backstory and just the timeline, because we went over that in detail, and the map as well. We also did some map time today. Thank you so much, mods. Thank you, everyone. If you guys didn't see the video that I uploaded for you today, I made a video about Adam Montgomery. Yeah, so if you want to see more snark from me, you can go watch that, because that guy, oh man, he makes me so angry. He's looking for a new trial. Okay, so if you want to go watch that, it's in my video section. And then I will see you all again very soon. In the meantime, stay safe.
With that being said, I thank y'all for being here. You see something, say something, trust your gut, like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.